Hey everybody. So look, I landed back in New York earlier today. I did laundry. It's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. Clearly. So this video is more gonna be about just stuff that's been going on. I'm not gonna spend that much time on it, but it is, Holy Week. So I probably won't be reviewing Ready to Love on Friday because it's Good Friday. Um, anyway, so let me start out with this. Beyonce, girl, sis, I love you. I love your albums. I have appreciated your work because it is the soundtrack to my life, and that's true tea. I feel like I grew up on and with Beyonce, even from Bills, okay? Destiny Fulfilled, the last Destiny's Child album, as far as I'm concerned, that was a grown woman album, okay? Okay. And The Writings on the Wall, another classic. Dangerously in Love represented my growing womanhood, okay? When you first get cheated on, you have a boyfriend you fall in love with, you have to grow up, and then B-Day came along, ring the alarm, and you feel that anger and stuff, and all that resentment, okay? Like all of that. I grew up on it. However, BB, Beyonce, let me tell you this. I do not appreciate you dropping this Cowboy Carter album tomorrow on Good Friday during Holy Week. Ma'am, you are not bigger than Jesus Christ. Not no how, not today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, not in another eon, not in another galaxy. You are not bigger than Jesus Christ. Okay, and you never will be. All right, now Good Friday is the day the prophecies were fulfilled for those of y'all who don't know. Okay, when Jesus gave up the ghost, everything about Jesus suffering, hanging from a cross for our sins, all of that. Good Friday is the highest holy day of the Christian calendar. And Sunday is Easter when we celebrate his resurrection. No, ma'am, I will not be partaking. I will not be partaking until April 1st. And I think it is only appropriate. And I'm very serious about this. She knows better. Beyonce is Christian. Beyonce knows better. That album will drop and top all the charts regardless of when. Girl, you could have waited. You could have waited. Anyway, Diddy. Actually, no, before I get to Diddy. Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, Candace quit. Robin was fired / leaving. We don't care. I'm sure there are people that care that Candace is leaving. She never really gave much. I just find her annoying and a crybaby. Like, she's on there. I don't hate her, but I don't like her. So miss me. If there are people that are going to miss Robin, I don't have nothing to say to you. All right. Now getting to Diddy. Diddy, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. Bruh. Diddy's houses were raided. Okay. In Los Angeles and Miami because of several allegations against him for sex trafficking and sexual assault, according to different plaintiffs. All right. Who are suing him. Now, he himself has not been arrested, according to Newsweek. All right, despite the reports, okay, of him having gotten arrested, there are some, people associated with him getting pulled into this, but he did not. And this is a quote. So earlier today, and this is a quote from Newsweek. Earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners, HSI said. All right, we will provide further information as it becomes available. Now, I am not someone who goes around saying believe women. I don't believe in that. I literally do not operate like that in any other aspect of my life. I don't believe anybody just because they tell me some shit. I don't. And I think it's a dangerous precedent. However, okay, there are too many stories. There are too many details of the abuse. And I believe these people. Okay? So, I believe Cassie's story. The way he heard him and settled that shit. But just the details of it, that kind of trauma. And I was so pissed off with people who was like, well, she was there for the money and then she got her money again. So fucking what? So fucking what? Diddy could choose to have her as a girlfriend or not. And that ain't gonna never make up for that trauma and that abuse she experienced. And as a result of her coming out, I think other women felt empowered to come out. So fuck it. It is really traumatic to go through that. And they started to play these interviews over and over again of people who saw it, people who experienced it. The woman who came out, who's a songwriter, that came out for Cassie on Good Morning America. And all of these women to actually come out, and some of them not even by name, but to actually come out, it's really traumatic. Because there are people who are going to love Diddy because of the music and pretend like this shit don't mean shit. Like it's some big conspiracy against him. He's not that important. He's not. Okay? And they've already seen, the women who are coming forward in this case, they've already seen what happened to the young women and older black women who talked about it later in their life, who came out against R. Kelly, having death threats, bomb threats, people attempt to destroy their cars, their homes, their families. Like, they've already seen this play out. All right? So Diddy has been on fuck shit for some time, okay? All of his artists would either go broke, damn near broke, or would lose notoriety. Like, his people just came and went, came and went. He was taking people's money over the years, not to mention how he exploited Biggie's legacy over and over again, remixing the same songs. It was disgusting. It was disgusting then before I knew any of this. So I didn't really grow up knowing a lot about hip-hop gossip. Like, I knew about the Tupac and Biggie stuff, but in terms of things like that, in terms of following stuff, I didn't. I could listen to certain stuff on the radio and look at magazines like in a grocery store or something really quick, but my parents didn't let us really indulge in that. So the first time I had ever heard, honestly, of Biggie being abusive to Lil' Kim, I didn't even know they had like any kind of relationship. That's how late to the thing I was. I knew he was married to Faith. The first time I even heard of him being abusive or having a relationship was when I was in college and the Biggie movie came out. And after that, I went and delved into all these details that I didn't know. And after finding out how abusive Biggie was, I kept constantly wondering, what Diddy thought? Why would you allow him to do that? I mean, the thing is, Kim was his artist too, right? Faith Evans was his artist too. And Biggie was black in Kim's eye and screwing her and beating her up, beating up his wife. Their looks and their talent, and we all know when it comes to women, their look matters. How the fuck are you letting somebody do this at the least to your artist? So I was curious as to how this man, I'm talking about Diddy, was always talking about how much he loved his mother and shit. And, you know, after seeing that movie and delving further into it, it was clear to me that Biggie's mother was not very loving and nurturing, and he wanted to punish every woman thereafter. And I kept saying, how could Diddy always talk about how much he loved his mother, admired her, and could let this shit go? Now I see. They were the same kind of person, and he ain't been telling us the whole fucking story. And I feel sorry for them daughters, especially Kim, because that's their only living parent left. And he ain't shit. And they know it. And it's humiliating, it's hard, it's hurtful, it's scary. And they're young. All right? So, and Diddy, no, I didn't forget how you did Shine back in the day. Okay? I always thought he was guilty with that whole club blow up shooting, whatever the hell it was, or whatever. Baby, Diddy, Johnny Cochran, God rest his soul, was one of a kind. And he was the only one that could have got you out of that shit. Okay? And he did. And ain't nobody like Johnny Cochran around again. Okay? So I think you was going to jail this time. And Diddy, you a bitch. I don't know, you might like jail. Anyway, next. Now, I will say, what I'm not going to do is pretend like black men are the only ones carrying this shit out. Violence and sexual assault and rape and sex trafficking, all of this. You know, it seems like they're putting a black face on it only. We're not going to act like Jeffrey Epstein, Matt Gaetz, who's a congressman, or billionaire Robert Kraft, who got charges with the prostitution ring and sex trafficking and all that other stuff, don't exist. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. But what I'm also not going to do, the problem is that when sex trafficking and sexual assault and rape happens to black girls and black women, it's largely ignored, even within our community, especially when it's by somebody who's black. Okay, and I'm not going to help black men continue to abuse and assault us, and therefore wreak all kinds of trauma against our daughters, mothers, cousins, aunties, simply because they're black men and they're quote unquote up against it. So the fuck are black women. The difference is our community doesn't give us excuses the same way. And it's enough of it. And it's unacceptable. And that's what I got to say about that. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's weekend. I'll talk to y'all soon enough. But I wish you well. Bye.